Welcome, everybody, in another episode of the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. If you're enjoying your day, sweet. If not, what the hell ever. So, it is now time for yet another Saturday morning slam review. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We can finally say goodbye to the show coming up, but there are some changes that actually happened on this episode. So, April 13, 2013, I had to look up the date of this when it was taped. It was actually taped a month prior, so March 19, 2013 was when this taped, but like I said, April 13, 2013 is the episode here. It's the first episode after WrestleMania 29. Yeah, I wish I could forget that show as well. And there's a notice at the opening of the show that there's a quote-unquote new era that begins on the show. Spoiler alert, there's not really one, to be honest. I mean, I was looking at that, I was like, does that mean the show's going to finally stop being poor after 8 months on the air? Finally! But then you gotta remember, the show doesn't have much longer left to be on the air. So the show is only going to be going for another month, like I said, so we've only got like a boatload of episodes left to cover. But yet, at this point, they decided to update some visuals on the show, including the transition graphics that have changed with the logo, like, spewing off the screen and purple and all that shit. And the layout of the match graphics has also been updated too. So we get the opening announcement that there's going to be a quote-unquote big tag team match of Justin Gabriel and Zack Ryder versus Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal of 3MB. Oh my gosh, that is so big. That should have been the main event of WrestleMania 29 instead of Cena Rock 2. I would have paid big money for that. Well, anyway, so that's going to be their opening contest. So Heath Slater in the corner of his 3MB brethren, which is now weird to think of all three. Drew McIntyre is the only one in WWE at the time of this episode being released, going against Justin Gabriel and Zack Ryder. So yeah, actually only one participant in all this is on, like, in the company at this point, and Kofi Kingston is on commentary, which I did not realize. Like, I wish I had known this while going back over Kofi's 2013 run a while back, early on in the podcast, because it's just like, wow, they really had nothing for him. So Gabriel and Ryder get an impressive double leapfrog spot over Jinder. Like, they both leapfrog, and Jinder manages to get under both of them at the same time, so it's like, good timing there. Double hip toss taking them down, but Jinder gets the better of Ryder by nailing a side Russian leg sweep after stopping Ryder from springboarding out of the corner. McIntyre gets in, near fall on Ryder from a snap suplex, and Ryder stuns McIntyre with a flapjack and a corner forearm. And then Ryder goes on the second rope, looking like he's about ready for like a Rough Rider or whatever, and Slater distracts him. McIntyre takes him off the ropes and already gets a roll up to win. So a match that's already done within the first 5 minutes of the broadcast. A match that ends that fast. It feels like I was rewatching some of the Primetime Players versus Tons of Funk match from not that long ago, where we got an opening match, and it fast enough to where you could go to the bath, go to urinal, take a piss break, come back, and the match is already over. Yeah, smart. So 3MB, they throw Slater and Gabriel from the ringside post-match. Kofi gets out of the commentary team position, gets into the ring with a springboard crossbody take on McIntyre and Mahal, throws Heath Slater out, and then here comes Mick Foley saying, a commentator cannot be involved in physicality, so therefore, when it comes to the commentary table, Kofi, you're out of there. But now I'm going to reward you with a match against Heath Slater right now, and McIntyre and Mahal are banned from ringside. I thought we were going to restart the match and bring up a 6-man tag team match there. So, means after the break, we get Kofi Kingston versus Heath Slater with Dolph Ziggler now on commentary, which I saw this and I noted that he has nothing with him. Like I said, I know this was taped the month prior, but they had absolutely nothing with him. Not the World Heavyweight Championship, which he's holding at present time, like by the time this episode comes out, because he had cashed in like 5 days prior on Raw, but they don't have him with the contract or the World Heavyweight Championship, so they had to have known that far in advance, saying, hey, get the contract away, we're going to have him cash in at this point. So Kofi, he gets an atomic drop, hip toss, and arm drag all in succession on Slater. Works on the left shoulder, which we see a lot from the show because he can't work on that head, can we? Monkey flips sends Slater out of the corner. Miscommunication seems to happen a little bit with another arm drag on Slater, which seemed like they're trying to fix because like it looked like Slater kind of lost his footing trying to go around Kofi for the move, and they try to cover it up by zooming in on him so you can't see where his feet are on the mat. Slater, he drives Kofi into the middle turnbuckle, gets him up, jumps and drives his knee into his back to drive Kofi headfirst into the top turnbuckle after that, and Kofi recovers after a sunset flip for two, and Ryder, he does that jumping leg lariat, like, stands on his left leg, kicks his right leg up, almost kind of like what Booker T does, like, with a leg lariat of sorts, Goes to commercial break. They come back. Kofi gets a springboard crossbody out of the corner, after reversing an Irish whip. Kofi gets the comeback. Boom drop. And then we get to the finish. Slater ducks the Trouble in Paradise. He's constantly avoiding the SOS. Kofi flies out of the corner to avoid Slater, who's charging at him. And then finally SOS connects and gives Kofi the win. So yeah. I mean, the opening match was awful. This was fine. But it's just like, ugh. Like, a Kofi match, like, wasn't really meaning much of anything in 2013, to be honest. At all. Now, backstage in the locker room, that's where you see Mick Foley. It's kind of trying to have a bit of that feel for when he was commissioner, having his office just about anywhere. He's writing in a notepad, writing stuff that he wants from a shopping list. He's got these blue and green lava lamps around. So then out comes Daniel Bryan, who says he hasn't heard back from Mick Foley about an authoritarian type position, almost like an assistant, that he felt like he was promised by Mick Foley before then, and then he's not happy when Mark Henry comes into the room and kind of intrudes on their conversation. No, you're not supposed to be here. This is our conversation. Leave. So Foley, he needs help standing up by Mark Henry, and he tells Bryan to just stop naming yourself as his assistant. Shut up. You're not the assistant. Knock it off. If it is, I'll name you. Then Mark Henry, he knows he's going to have a match here on Saturday Morning Slam, but he's like, no, whoever you had in mind for my opponent, cancel that. I want to face Daniel Bryan. And then Foley's like, yeah, okay, you'll have that match next. So Daniel, he's not happy, and Foley's like, here, I can't offer you the assistant position right now, but I can offer you something else. Offers him a hug. Daniel's like, no, storms off. And Foley's just like, I guess he's not a hugger. Don't worry, Foley, I heard Bayley's going to be within a year or two. So, you can wait for that. So then after the break, we get a new Saturday morning spotlight segment with a brand new visual graphic, which... Before then, it made, like, the last one they had, like, the whole curtain reveal, like, ta-da! Almost like that, what you see from Super Mario Bros. 3 with the curtain opening up at the intro. But now, it almost looks like the police are searching for somebody in a dark alley because you got, like, a light shining on a trash can lid saying Saturday Morning Spotlight, so it doesn't look like TVG there. It looks like an episode of Cops that they're trying to scale back on. But this whole segment they dedicate to looking at Mark Henry and his Hall of Pain run. Showing his incredible strength. They don't show the destruction, like, they don't show him, like, grabbing that crew member or whatever at a makeshift table in front of the stage, like, from one episode of SmackDown and throwing him away or anything like that. So, they just show him lifting people up like Mark Henry and Daniel Bryan and Christian and so on and so forth. So now I get to the big main event. Daniel Bryan, who still won half of the tag team champions, versus Mark Henry, who has to come out to an instrumental version of his entrance music because if you remember, beat him up, break his neck, and somebody go and get the ass kicked and all that. That's not like TVG there, so he has to come out to an instrumental version, which I never knew existed. So it's kind of weird to see that. So Daniel, right off the bat, he wants to hug it out to start the match off, which isn't a good idea unless you want to be put in a bear hug. And I'm typing this out before they really get to the action. Like, I saw the hug, I'm just like, he's going to do the bear hug, which is going to make you jizz. Remember last time you saw a bear hug? And sure enough, they did exactly what I predicted. And I'm typing in my notes, I said, this is exactly what happens. I predicted this while typing the script out before the match. This took place in the match. Be like, hug? No, bear hug. Daniel gets out, he runs at Mark Henry, gets blasted down because it's like running into a brick wall. He avoids Mark Henry splash, and Dolph Ziggler, he's like still a commentary. He's laughing at Mark Henry over this, like, haha, you're stupid, why'd you try to splash him? Mark Henry intimidates him with a confrontation at the table. Daniel, he's kicking Mark Henry, put him in the corner, running corner drop kick, and then gets a cannonball to Mark Henry, who's seated in the corner. Kick out of two. Daniel gets launched out of the ring from that. Daniel's like, what? So then Daniel, he's charging at Mark Henry. Larry takes his head off, but then Daniel no-sells it to come back with a drop kick to Henry's knee, which we see so many times. Small guy versus big guy, work on the leg, just knock him down. Rinse and repeat. And then you get to the dumb finish. Daniel Bryan gets to the top rope, crossbody, caught in midair, World's Strongest Slam, that's it. Yeah, it doesn't really look good for one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions at that point. Like, I know not too long after this, you'll see Team Hell No start to descend, or kind of dissolve their tag team with the whole weak link and dropping the tag titles, but yeah, pretty short main event there. So, yeah, what exactly was this new era supposed to be for Saturday Morning Slam? Outside of some updated visuals, that's about it. Like new transition slides there with the logo and a kind of different layout for the match graphic looks, that's about it. It still felt like the same show. I mean, yeah, we got 3 matches, big whoop. I mean, like, where's the variety there still? Like, when are they going to bring back the WWE trivia quiz thing that they did in, like, the debut episode? I think that was, like, just a one-off thing. It's like, okay, who bought WCW from Vince McMahon in 2001? Yes, you kids should know this, even though this happened before you were even conceived. Like, bring that back at least. Try to stump me with trivia there, WWE, but it was a one-off thing, and all you really did was just change the look a slight bit on some things, and that was all you had. So anyway, next week, folks, April 20th, 2013 episode of Saturday Morning Slam. After that, we got about 3 more episodes after that, so we're almost there. And then I can get on to the next project. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think about this episode of Saturday Morning Slam? If you enjoyed today's episode, folks, please remember, leave a like, subscribe to the bell, turn on if you're listening to this on YouTube, or follow if you're listening to this podcast on any other service that this podcast is available on. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody.